Kia ora. Welcome back. It's been a few months since the last episode. Life got in the way a bit, adulting. But I'm excited to come back behind the mic with the show's first one-on-one interview. In this episode, I caught up with Equator at the Blue Ox Babe in Pukekohe, where he started his barbecue journey. He learned from experienced pitmasters, thrown into the fire, so to speak, and became one himself. You'll hear us talk about the journey, the important lessons learned along the way, life behind a commercial smoker, and how those experiences have led him into creating his own barbecue apparel brand, Kolchar Technical. Alright, let's just get into it, eh? How long have you been cooking here for?
3 years.
And of course you went from knowing nothing and they just taught you everything here.
We had a pitmaster when I first started. His name was Liam. So he was here, and the previous, I'm not too sure the previous before, because I wasn't here when they opened. It was after. But it was actually the dude that actually taught me was a young Asian chef. He taught me, and because he's like New Zealand born, so he was pretty hearty at the same time. So he was all about, and he loves fishing and stuff like that. He was more about just throw me in there, yeah. And he was only young, so when we think he was only 22, but his skills was unmatched. Grew up with the air fryer at the takeaways down in Ngaruahi. So he had the chip basket already placed in his hand when he was born. And then because he's really into his fishing and stuff, so his style was, he was just throw me in there. And
learn by doing, eh?
Yeah, and and there was no kind of like ego thing because I was older than him. I was, humble enough to say, he's got skills. Let me learn. He kind of, just threw me in there. He goes, well, the only way you're going to learn, dun dun dun. And then that was probably just the best information that I had been given here. He was the one. He was probably key to me learning the way fast like I did. Was just throw me in there, show me his techniques, and I've always been about kind of like the way that I learn is like imitate. Kind of like do it the same and then make it my own.
When I did brisket for the first time, because that was the one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to master that. I started out, did everything exactly how I was told, and I'm like, no, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So I took advice. I took a lot of things from the Barbecue Alliance, what advice they were giving. I took things from YouTube, from a couple of guys there, and then my own preferences. Combined that all into my own thing, and I think that's the same with most people.
Yeah.
With most pitmasters or anyone in general, is that you could take advice, you could take things from other people. But if it doesn't work for you, make it your own.
Yeah, and you find like, especially with brisket, it's the mecca of low and slow. Yeah, so for me, brisket is about feel. Being able to just put that probe in and just is it going in straight through? Is it has it got a bit of bite in there? That's how I kind of knew that thing, and then just bark it up. I did talk to Mark about thing, and his thing was like, what's the angle? And I just said, well, it's basically my barbecue journey and the brand's journey. So he was all good with it. He's really good. He's been really supportive as well. And I guess that's the thing with the barbecue community. It's really supportive. And what I've noticed, going to, like, I've never met Steve from Cook Cartel before, but just being able to just message all these pitmasters, and and them willing to say, hey, yep, all good, come through and check us out, and we'll have a kōrero about what you're doing and stuff like that. So, and that's what I'm starting Kolchar, and barbecue pit where what was cool about it, that I was aiming for a specific market, and pitmasters and barbecue cooks and live fire cooks was the market. And so and knowing the culture of it, I knew that I wasn't going to jump over hurdles to get there. I was already in it, and so being able to just reach out to other pitmasters, that just like you're reaching out to a bro or something like that, that was as natural as it could be. And that's what gives me more confidence in my product, being able to just say, hey bro, I'm just I'm making barbecue wear. And just like we said, it was like they go, hey, that's pretty on.
Yeah.
That's pretty on.
Because it's so easy to talk to them. Like, I thought that too when I went to the comp. Everyone's like so friendly.
Yeah.
And they're willing to share secrets. They're willing to tell you exactly how they do it.
Yeah, well, what I learned here is, because we probe it, and we're looking at temperatures, but a lot of the times is you've got to just use your senses, your touch, feel, your eyes, how the bones are protruding through the ribs, so that it's time to wrap. And yeah, it's mainly like for me, it became so natural where it was just touch, feel. Is the brisket wobbling? If it's not wobbling, then obviously you got there's still time to go. And then at the end of it was just fire management. As long as you're keeping it up consistent temp, then you know that what's happening in the pit is what's supposed to happen.
Because that's the main thing as well. When you start, it's about the fire management. People think it's all about the right seasoning, the right rub, but it's like, if you don't have your fire management right, the whole thing's just gonna fall.
I've had mornings where the fire wouldn't. I've had to rearrange the wood pieces thing and stuff like that, and like we used the torch, get it blasting and that. But I felt that was just like that took too long, as far as you have to stand there and make sure that it's burning. But I just went old school, peach paper, a bit of oil, and chucked that under, and that was perfect. That every time there was no dramas with it. So so if you wanted it, hard and fast, but yeah, kind of just that low and slow, that old school way was best.
I thought that too, because I've seen people, they use the big torches and stuff. I just do, it's just freaking charcoal.
Yeah.
I just get a bit of charcoal going and hit that, and then wood goes on top. But me, I try and keep it like as natural as possible. Like even the firelighters are the proper waxy, woody, proper ones.
Mrs. just bought me a smoker, Charmate drum smoker. So I haven't even seasoned yet. Just last week I got it. So yeah, it's just sitting inside, just part of the furniture at the moment. When I first started here, so I never had any experience working in hospitality in general. It was during COVID. And so that was after their big pump. They were pumping when they opened, and I was just grateful to have the opportunity to work here. To be honest, I would have been happy just to do the dishes while I was, at my time here. But the team that was here, they were willing to teach me, and I was willing to learn, and that's pretty much how I got into barbecue, and then just falling in love with the process. Even just down to the trimming, being able to trim the brisket and looking at it, and I can, and that was cool. And then I guess for me, the challenge that I enjoyed was, okay, we got a big cook today. How am I going to get all this and still come out with a good product at the end of it? And then there was just timing, and my prep was key. Blast some old Bobby Brown, and I was on.
So everyone's got their different tunes as well.
Yeah.
Everyone listens, I listen to country, because it just gives me that feel like, smoking meat, listen to country music.
Yeah, well, I had my own playlist, majority, and it would just come up depending on how I was feeling on the day. And then, a lot of the times it was Whitney Houston. Just the ballads, and then I can, and because this is probably was my favorite time of the day, quiet before the storm, and so Whitney Houston used to blast through here, and I'll just sing my brisket out.
a bit of love to it, eh?
Yeah.
Bit of singing to it makes it.
And that was it. And you know, I believe that, you know, as I learnt, you know, other chefs' styles, like our Thai chef making a sauce, making a mac and cheese, which was, you know, that was my thing. Mac and cheese was my thing. You know, I kind of got obsessed with making mac and cheese. It had to have that right texture and everything. And yeah, I can honestly say the love that I put into it and the passion, it kind of showed in the results.
Well, then how do you make, if we're touching base on mac and cheese, how do you do your mac and cheese? If that's not a secret.
Well, there's been a few variants here, but my favorite one, and it wasn't making not making the white sauce, it was just basically milk, chuck in the macaroni, already pre-cooked macaroni, and then just piling the cheese on, like I made a 5 cheese and piling the cheese on top. Man, that just worked crazy. Yeah, I actually thought it wasn't going to work, but if you get the right measurements of everything, you know, it actually kind of just went so creamy, and I was like, wow, I was surprised. And it was an experiment, I was honestly thinking, because the recipe that I got was initially pasta bake, but I needed to figure out how to do it on, you know, on the induction, and the way it came out, and I kind of just looked at the measurements, and, you know, and then once I kind of got it, difficulty was that when others were to cook it, they were cooking it differently.
Would it be early as mornings?
Yeah, so I was doing the cook, so but I was able to kind of like time it right with lunch service and stuff like that. So yeah, it was long days, I guess, you know, because I was here till most times from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock.
Morning till night?
Yeah, we only stayed local, so my family would come in all the time.
Come for a feed?
Yeah, for a cook we would start it up in start all our briskets up the top end, so nice slow, lower temp. And then later on we'll just start bumping them up. So once we wrap the briskets, we'll put them in door 1 closer to the heat, because it's already got the smoke.
So when you started cooking, like actually smoking meat and stuff, what was the point of like, shit, I might actually be good at this? Like, this might be a thing.
It was just basically, yeah, just learning the process and more heading towards the timing and the process of the whole cook. So, you know, being able to time everything right. So that was probably more what I was kind of leaning into. And then when the results were coming out really good, I was like going, yay, you know, and this is cool. This is thing. And being able to, you know, cook for 100, cook for 200 people in a day. And the challenges with that was what really kind of pulled me in, and, you know, learn how Eleanor worked, you know, from top to bottom, and her sweet spots and stuff like that. So, you know, really looking into detail about the process, and that's probably what kind of pulled me into the whole scene. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
Eleanor's the smoker, right?
Yes. Yeah, so she's named after the car on Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, true.
Yeah. She family. She auntie.
I started out with like offset smoking from Bunning. I was like, yeah, I like this. Did more and more research. I was like, I want to do the offset. Got the jumbuck one, thin bloody metal. I learned that the hard way.
Coming from that and then going to something smaller, I was like, you know, so yeah, I was in marketplace, trade me kind of thingy, and just looking at options, looking at big ones, looking at small ones and stuff like that. But, you know, going to the comps and looking at what they're using, you know, obviously Traeger's and the Oklahoma Joe, they all had one.
That's what I thought too. I asked them, I was like, what? I thought this is like proper, you know, barbecue comp, and I didn't see a single offset. Why no offsets? Yeah. And they're like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
For a competition, it's just far too much fire management.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for ages. So I'm like, okay. I went home, started the same thing, Facebook markup, trying to find one. I got to know how to do it on the cheaper one.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I can master it on this thin metal and get the fire management right, I can do it on the big boys.
Yeah, well, that's probably what I'm more nervous about, because I'm only used to this, and then I'm trying to put these chunks of big massive chunks of wood in the small little.
So what's like the biggest thing that you like, oh, I screwed that up, and then you learned, okay, don't do that again?
Well, I guess it was multitasking, and it was probably pork belly. Such an easy thing, but if you forget about it, you're going to have a soft, a really rendered down pork belly. And so, it was time management throughout the cook. I guess it's different when you're only on one smoker with one door, but when you're on 4 doors and you've got briskets there, pork belly there, ribs there, beef cheeks, and you're running the kitchen at the same time. Time management was really important, and I've forgotten some pork belly. And
so how do you manage that then? Like, because most people are just used to doing one thing at a time, but of course you're doing how many different proteins?
Yeah, well, I guess I watched a few of Aaron Franklin's classes online, and it was just basically the way that he wrote it down is like, okay, 12 o'clock this is when I need that out. So it was kind of like programming myself, okay, I need this protein by this time and that, and then just kind of setting it, so like, because looking at the 4 doors, so obviously the cooler tempers down the bottom. So if I didn't need that initially first, and I needed the briskets, out first, I would manage it that way. So less heat, less smoke here, more smoke there, and then so I kind of just programmed myself to understand, and understanding the protein, the reaction that it has, and what it needs to do. That was basically how I was able to manage big cooks and stuff like that. For example, for that 3-to-1 method for ribs, or 3-to-1 or 2. We would start it in door, like something like door 3, where it's hot, but not too hot and gets good smoke, and then just start when it's time to wrap. Just move them down to the hotter area.
Initially, when you started, would you write down because sometimes that's what I do. Like I'll write down okay, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for the hours, and then at this hour, pull off at this hour, probe at this hour.
Initially, I did. I had my book and thing, but once I kind of got the rhythm of it, and that was it. It was just rhythm, just get that rhythm. So have the fire up by 9, 30 minutes to get the fire up. And so I would try and get all my raw meats in there by 10 o'clock. So hour and a half prep to get all the meats in. And then after that, it's just managing them. And I didn't need to use timers or anything.
Sorry then, no timers for me. I know exactly.
Because as long as I had the pit at a consistent heat and it didn't drop, I knew exactly what time I was pulling and what time I was wrapping and everything.
You do it 5-6 days a week, so it just becomes normal, second nature.
Yeah.
But how does it go from doing it on a grain scale like that, on like a freaking, what is it, 100 litre? 100 gallon? Ton?
Yeah, 1 ton. Yeah.
1 ton.
1,000 gallon.
So how does it go from smoking a whole lot of meat on that to just doing one thing at home?
Well, I guess it's easier because you're only just, worrying about that one protein thing. But I guess the difference is that you kind of experiment more with rubs and everything else than you would do here, where this is set. You get to kind of experiment more at home than you would have the flexibility to do here. But that's it, because Mark, his palate is crazy, and he'll taste it. He's got, he knows what's in there if you've added something. Yeah, even there's that big debate about binders. Using mustard and that, and I've never used mustard.
Do you guys not use mustard or oil?
Just oil, but majority of the time the proteins are pretty moist as it is. Binders are for blinders, no. It doesn't add much flavour to it.
No, it's not for the flavour. It's just for
so it can stick to the rub can stick to it. So
So everyone talks about freaking brisket, and I think I talk about it too much as well. But what else? What's like your second thing that you would choose? Like if you were to order something from here.
My briskets like my number 2.
That's your number 2.
Beef chicks is my number 1. For me, it's just like you can do it hot and fast. Just get your bark on it. As long as you get your bark on it, and then you put it into your dew.
And then you boat it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I tried to do it once, I did it twice, and I was like, bro, both times that I bought it, they smelt kind of, so I didn't use them.
No, they do, just because they hold a lot of like blood and the fat that's in the middle. So that's probably what their smell is. When you think they'll kind of pillow up, and then you get that hard bark on it, and then you chuck them in a juice, some tallow, and man, sweet.
Whenever I do any meat, I'd like trim it all down, and all that stuff that people like would chuck away. No. I put that in a little cast iron pot, and I put it on the smoker a couple of hours before it's ready to come off, and you got smoked tallow. People go up and buy it from the supermarket.
Yeah, no, even tallow. And even just having a bit of that crispy, the crispy crackle.
Is that the different fats? Because I do that, and then like some rendered, like it all renders down, but then there's those bits that don't.
Yeah, I guess it would be what the part of where that part of trimming, because there's obviously thicker parts that are near the edges, and then especially with the part around the point, that's pretty good.
Near the point is better. Yeah. The renders down, or
no, the crispies up.
But I love doing that, and then I save it. It's not a secret, but that's what I like to do. Is with those trimmings, with the tallow, when I go to wrap it, put a bit on the paper, and then just cover it. Just not saturate it. Just do a nice little cover, and then I put it in the oven. Yeah. That's how I get my rest.
No, that's on, because all you really want the smoker to do is to get the smoke into it.
Wake up. That is seriously the best thing, is waking up and just smelling. And the best thing, man, I was working in Pakuranga, and I just smelled this smoke. Like I thought, you smell smoke everywhere. People burn their rubbish or burn their green waste. But I'm like, smell it. No, that's not green waste. What the hell? No, that's, I know what that smell is. And I'm like, literally following my nose. I'm like, no, it's stopping here, turn around and go this way. And I found a place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, I never heard of this. Looked at the reviews. I'm like, oh yeah, let's try this. I had no idea about it. Took it back to my work site and just had a mean munch.
Yeah, I went out to Smoking Shack out in Greylin. Had a try, and I really enjoyed it. I could taste it. Obviously, everybody just chuck a whole lot of seasoning on, but they showed restraint within their cook, so I really quite enjoyed it.
So have you done much at home, or you've just got?
No, I've just, the first smoker I just got last week, so I haven't actually done much at home. But like I've been getting the itch, that's why I've been kind of like on things. I'm happy that I've got one now. Still got to season it though, and then kind of thing. But which it's good, because doing the barbecue wear, I'll be able to like physically test them, and look at the weak points within the garments that I'm creating. Like the pitch, my first product. Only reason why I went for pitch shorts is because that was, when I thought about when I looked out and saw, what pitmasters were wearing, and what do you wear, when cooking barbecue, and jean shorts were up on the list, and like my initial thing was just to, slap a logo on some jean shorts and call it a day. And then, but once I kind of started looking at the pain points of cooking, I started looking, just the same way I was saying, looking at the process and what I could solve, like creating, some barbecue wear. And one of them was, so I thought, jean shorts, apron, let's kind of smash those together and see what we come up with. And then along the way, it was, really looking at the mechanics of it. But now I'm looking at, the problems that I can solve. So, I've been going crazy with it.
So you felt like the deeper you got into it, the more you realized oh man, there's so much more I can do, or
Yeah, so that, I was like, so looking at good denim, not thick leathers, and then later on I started thinking about so these were working good in, like at comps and stuff like that. So what else could I do, looking into different types of pit shorts that are going to work here.
But they look like casual enough, like I would buy a pair of them and just wear them.
Because I had to think about the wearer, and what was the standard wear for thing, a tee, pair of jean shorts and stuff like that. But then, adding the leather panels for protection. So, really looking at each part of the thing, and even like down to the pockets, the towel loop, where that's positioned, like just moving around the bench, and the apron would snag on the corner, or pair of tongs so things would snag. So I was like really thinking about thing, and so where I put the leather panels was where when I crouch down by the fire, it hits there first. The heat's going to hit there first, so protecting that, and also mobility, so movement, because I was going from chopping board to thing up and down. So what I've done, I've integrated a gusset, so crouching, moving, and thing, and especially for our bigger brothers, they being able to have good movement within the with the shorts.
Because you can have something that's, it's functionable and it will protect you from the heat, but is it comfortable to wear?
Yeah.
Because if it's not comfortable to wear, no one's going to wear it.
I didn't want it, but I want them to look not like normal workwear or Bisleys or anything. When people see them, they distinctively know that this is barbecue wear.
This whole time I'm like, I just want to see it, man. Come on, show me your shoe.
Yeah.
Nah, that looks good.
So even like replacing, like for barbecue, replacing the apron, which was my biggest pain point here. Yeah, so this, a vest.
Oh, of course, because yeah. And of course, same thing, multiple pockets. So it's like you're wearing an apron, but you're not if you have the shorts and the vest.
Yeah, and so that was it. So, kind of creating an ecosystem around barbecuing, live fires. This was good. One of the reasons why I kind of went for this style around the neck was that Matt from Smoking Oak, I contacted him and just let him know what I was doing. And one of the things that he mentioned was that, they needed something that was lighter, and that they could wear at festivals and also at corporate events and catering, so that it was going to look tidy enough. I listened to what what he wanted, and then so just went in there and just thought about it, and that's what I've been doing over the last 4 months is like. And that's why, going to barbecue events and really, so when I went to Smoke on the Coast, I wasn't really looking at the barbecue, I was looking at movement, how they were moving around their smokers and stuff like that, kind of leaning, crouching down, looking at when they were lighting their fires and their, where the heat was hitting. And so that was crazy, The missus was going, oh, look at that! That smells nice. And I was going, but look how he's leaning into that smoker, understanding from my experience here, and putting it into this barbecue wear. Man, it's been exciting, and that's why I said like now I have to kind of educate people about it, and within the community and on socials and stuff like that, because nobody has done it. The owner, the chef at the smoking shack, he goes, well, I'll get it for my whole team. I said, sweet as brother, I got you. And that's what my thought process was when kind of creating this line, was just functionality. It didn't have to look flashy. But it had to be functional.
And that, without giving too much away, that two-tone, that's culture. That's that barbecue wear, without having to look at the logo. And that's what would set you apart as well.
And then when you think about the barbecue culture, it just fit really well. And so I stuck with it.
No, I freaking like that, eh?
Yeah.
Just everything about it was great, and I honestly do hope that it picks up, especially in the States. Like, that would be awesome.
And so, I'm taking my time. Initially I was like, oh yeah, we'll have it out by May and we'll do this, but now I've pushed it out to October, and I'm doing a reveal launch here.
Oh yeah,
in September. So I'll send you an invite.
Hell yeah.
So it was just a small little thing just in this area here, and I'll do like a reveal, packaging and this is thing, and have some denim out and stuff like that to think. But yeah, I'll definitely send you guys out some invites.
Shit, yeah, I'll come to that. Are you going to get like a couple of other guys like from...
Yeah, so Steve, he's already down to come. Well, you know what? Because I watched the season 2 of Cooks on Fire, but even Shani on season 2, she was one of the pitmasters here as well.
So Blue Ox pumping out a few good characters there, eh?
Well, the OG of it is Ants. His thing, barbecue name is Ants Franklin. He's OG in the barbecue game here.
People like yourself that may not be out there like, hey, here I am.
When I contacted Steve, I didn't really know how big he was in the barbecue game. And then so I messaged him, and he's solid as barbecue boy. He was cool. I met him at Smoke on the Coast, but was in contact with him. And and in his comment, he was like, "Oh, my wife's getting sick of buying me shorts." Just kind of drives me a bit more.
Because he hit me up as well, barbecue boy. Yeah. And he told me, he's like, hey, there's a competition going on, you should come talk. I'm like, yeah, I should.
Are you keen?
Oh, not about competing.
Well, we should do it.
Man, like, my brisket's pretty good. Like, I've got that locked down.
Yeah, no, because I was thinking, because when they were putting out the call for new people to jump on, like the one that was up north and the Smoke on the Coast, so they've been doing it for a while. Like, a lot of the teams have kind of not competing anymore. Keen, brother, I'm keen. But at the same time, I was nervous. I said, well, my brisket's okay. My brisket's okay.
Well, I think that's the same thing. We're all like so hard on our stuff.
Oh, if you're keen to, we can jump on the comp, see how we go.
Well, that'll be the thing. You'd be the brains if we were the team up, man. You'd have to be the brains. What do you think that we're doing different here as Kiwis than like Americans do?
Well, I guess like we just spoke about was just the community, and because the way that we are, where Kiwis are, it's like, I think that's what, that kind of sweet as bro kind of mentality and attitude is what we put into the community. And over here, it's about that, the community, the culture.
Barbecue itself is Kiwi culture right there. Long and slow, which is still kind of, it's making its way a bit more into just the normal backyard. Yeah. The more that I've got into it, the more I've realized there's actually a lot more people into this than I thought. Yeah. But you just got to ask them.
Yeah, well, that was the same with me when I started talking about, smoking meats and stuff like that, and people are like, oh yeah, I got this, I think, oh sure, do you think? And they're like, yeah, been doing it for a while. I did it on the marae last week. I brought my smoker on the marae last week. I mean, I've cooked kangi in there.
Where was the tester for that, man?
Yeah, I just brought in the thing, got the the hooves, dusted it up and chucked it in. It was good. Just left it in there for a few hours. So I chucked it there in the morning, and we had it for like around about 3 o'clock.
When I got more into it and had a look, realised that hangi and long and slow was basically the same thing. Yeah. Why aren't we integrating the two together? Yeah. So why wouldn't they love long and slow? But we just got to kind of make it our own.
Well, that's it. I mean, like I smoked the meat first. So like pork shoulder, I smoked that, some chicken drums and stuff like that. So I smoked that up first, got some smoke in it, and then chucked it into a thing.
How the veggies go smoked?
No, I didn't smoke the veggies, the cabbage and stuff like that. I was thinking about it. I was just going to chuck everything in and then put it all into a gastro and then steam it up.
What I ask everybody is, what does long and slow mean to you?
Patience. Patience. It's taught me patience and love in what you're doing, because if I didn't have learn that patience of what low and slow is, which is I probably wouldn't be, I've integrated that into what I'm doing now, and that's why I said I'm in for the marathon. I'll stretch it out as far as I need to get the perfect result.
It's not always about just cooking the meat, it's about feeding, because that's what we're big here in Aotearoa is about.
Feeding the whānau. Yeah.
It's about making a meal and feeding people. And that's what I love, is making this that I've spent hours on and then just eat it. Don't have to pay for nothing. I don't care about that. I want you to taste what I've made.
Well, that's it. That's basically, it's taught me lots, and patience is one of the things, not to rush things.
You feel like your life has slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
Just your mentality, like you said about your armour that's going to be coming out, is that you were going to bring it out. Now, you know what? No, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make sure it's...
Yeah, my mentality is just treat it the same. There's no need to rush it, because there's, it's there. I know that I'm within a niche market. I'm in a good position.
One thing that really stood out to me from that chat was the importance of just slowing things down. That I'm not the only one that's thinking that. Just be patient with everything. Whether it was learning the craft of Blue Ox, becoming a pitmaster, or now building industrial culinary armour from the ground up, there was a common theme throughout the whole conversation. Putting in the work and focusing on getting things right. A huge thanks to the bro Equator for taking the time to come on the show and share his story. It was really cool to sit there and talk with somebody else that's building something here in Aotearoa. If you want to follow what he's up to with his brand Kolchar, which I highly recommend, you'll find his links in the episode description. Until next time, keep it low, keep it slow. Kia ora.